I never imagined being a stepmother would be easy, but I didn't expect it to be this hard. When I married Richard 6 months ago, I knew his 2 sons, Nate and Tyler, weren't thrilled about having me in their lives. I figured they'd warm up eventually. Maybe not overnight, but in time. I was wrong. From the start, they've made it their mission to push me to my limit. Subtle jabs, pranks, passive-aggressive comments. It's like they're determined to prove I don't belong here. At first I tried to rise above it. They're young men in their 20s still figuring life out. But over time, their games became meaner, more calculated. And then, last Saturday, they crossed a line I didn't even know existed. It started like any other quiet afternoon. I was curled up on the couch trying to enjoy a rare moment of peace with a book. Richard was at work, and the boys were supposed to be out with friends. I thought I had the house to myself. That illusion shattered when I heard the front door slam. "Mom!" Tyler called out. He never calls me Mom unless he's mocking me, so I knew right away that trouble wasn't far behind. Before I could respond, he and Nate barged into the living room, both of them looking far too smug for my liking. "What's going on?" I asked, setting my book down. "Nothing serious," Nate said, unbuttoning his shirt. At first I didn't register what he was doing. Then Tyler pulled off his hoodie, tossing it onto the couch. "Wait, what are you doing?" I demanded, standing up. "Relax," Tyler said, smirking. "You'll understand in a second." Then Nate started undoing his belt. "Enough," I shouted, my face burning with anger and embarrassment. "What the hell is wrong with you two?" "We can explain," Nate said, feigning innocence as he kicked off his shoes. "Yeah," Tyler added, stepping closer to me, his tone casual but his grin unsettling. "We were at the park, and this crazy dog started chasing us. Huge, like a wolf or something. It ripped up Nate's jacket, so we ran home. But it wasn't after us. It was after our clothes." "And you decided to strip here?" I asked, my voice sharp. "Well, duh," Tyler said, taking another step toward me. "We couldn't just let it follow us inside." I could feel my pulse quicken, not with fear, but with a mix of discomfort and something else I couldn't quite name. Tyler was standing too close now, close enough that I could feel the heat radiating off him. "Tyler, back up," I said firmly, but he didn't move. Instead, he tilted his head, his smirk growing. "Why? Am I making you uncomfortable, Mom?" His voice dripped with mockery. But there was something in his eyes, a challenge, daring me to react. I tried to step back, but the couch was right behind me. I felt cornered, trapped. For a brief, horrifying moment, I felt my composure slipping. There was something about the way he looked at me, the deliberate invasion of my space, that made me feel vulnerable, in a way I wasn't prepared for. My heart raced, my breath quickened, but then anger surged through me, burning away every other emotion. "That's enough," I snapped, shoving him back with more force than I intended. He stumbled slightly, his smirk vanishing as he caught his balance. "Don't you ever do that again," I said, my voice low and furious. Tyler looked startled for a moment, but then he shrugged, his grin returning. "Relax, Meredith. It's not a big deal." "It is a big deal," I shot back, my voice rising. I turned to Nate, who was watching the whole scene like it was some kind of comedy show. "And you're just as bad. Do you two seriously think this kind of behavior is okay?" Nate held up his hands, still grinning. "Hey, it's just a joke, you're overreacting." "Overreacting?" I repeated, my anger bubbling over. "You two barge into my home, strip half naked and try to intimidate me. And I'm overreacting." They exchanged a glance, their smirks faltering. I could see the unease creeping into their expressions, but I wasn't done. "Let me make one thing very clear," I said, pointing a finger at both of them. "This is my home now. I'm not going anywhere, no matter how hard you try to push me out. You think you can scare me, embarrass me, make me feel like I don't belong? Well, guess what? You don't get to win. Not this time." For the first time they looked genuinely nervous. Okay," Nate said, awkwardly grabbing his shirt. "Fine," Tyler muttered, picking up his hoodie. They shuffled out of the room, their bravado replaced by something that looked suspiciously like guilt. As soon as they were gone, I sank back onto the couch, my hands trembling. I was still furious, but beneath the anger was something else, something raw and unsettling. I hated how they'd made me feel, even for a moment. When Richard got home that evening, I didn't tell him what had happened. Not yet. I knew I needed to, but I wanted to calm down first, to figure out how to explain everything without breaking down. But one thing was certain. This wasn't over. Nate and Tyler had pushed me too far, and I wasn't going to let them get away with it.